All right, well, welcome back, everyone. Private conversation going on here for adults, perhaps only. So if you have kiddos in the room, give them a second to usher them out for a moment. Okay, here we go. Many people don't realize the difference between having sex and making love.
All right, so we have to ask an expert about this, apparently, to figure it out, right? So Dr. Viviana Coles is here. You may think you know, but some people really don't know, right? So when I first heard this, we were having a discussion in the newsroom and we thought, well, is the difference that you actually know the person's name?
Oh, no.
But what is the difference?
What's going on in that newsroom? I think the biggest difference, and last time we were talking about sleep divorce, so it brings up this idea of intentionality. Right, and when you're being intentional with either making love or having sex, I think a lot of people say that they prefer one over the other, but their partner doesn't know which one. So I would say that it's important to have both in your life. Sexuality for the sake of sexuality is so good for you physiologically and of course psychologically, but that idea of making love is a lot less tangible. So definitely talking about, you know, relaxation. Super important to be a part of any sort of sexual experience. Also the idea that when you are trying to make love, it's about emoting an idea, emoting a feeling. And that shouldn't just happen between the sheets for so many people. You know, so some of the ways that you can do that through initiating sexuality, whichever kind you're looking for, is to relax. Make sure that both of you are in as much of a relaxed state as possible. So that means checking off a lot of the to-do list together. It shouldn't be on one person versus the other. The other thing that you can do is make sure that you are taking turns. Take turns initiating sexuality. That shows your partner that you care, that you are interested, that it's something that is on your list. It may not be the top priority, but it's definitely on your list.
And then what about, you know, you might have a headache every once in a while, but just not a couple of headaches in a row, right?
Well, that's the thing. If you're trying to nurture a healthy sexual relationship and keep the interest going, you don't want to reject your partner more than twice in a row. That's the rule that I tend to go by when and tell my clients, like, hey, you should do this, because it does take a lot of vulnerability and confidence, and it can be shaken if you're constantly being rejected. That's one of the biggest gripes that I get from the men in my practice that I see. I see a lot of men who say, I feel like I'm the only one in charge of our sex life, and if I don't initiate, it's never gonna happen. But then I talk to their partners, they're like, no, I'm not used to it. I don't really know how to. So that brings the next topic, which is you need to know how your partner likes to be proposed to in that way, right? And pursued. Not everybody likes the verbal question. And not everybody reads into every single action. How many times have I heard, and maybe you've heard it with your friends too, where their partner's like, well, I was initiating all last week and you rejected me. And they're like, I had no idea what you were talking about.
Right.
So that's also very important.
Communication is key, it sounds like here.
Right.
Always.
And then the language can work either way with what we were talking about.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Dr. Viviana, thank you so much. Appreciate it.